Have you ever just stared at your glass of milk and wondered, is this actually what I think it is? Well, today we're going to break down that mystery. We're showing you how to play detective right in your own kitchen with some super simple tests for your dairy. So let's just jump right in with a big question.
Seriously, think about it. Is it as pure as you hope it is? The answer, well, it can be a little surprising. Stuff getting added to our food is way more common than you'd think. But, and this is the best part, you don't need some high-tech lab to figure it out. Nope. That's right, put on your detective hat, because that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to uncover some of the secrets that might be hiding in your dairy products, and all it takes are a few things you've probably got lying around the kitchen. So, detective, you ready for your first case? We're going after the #1 suspect.
And that culprit is plain old water. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's the easiest way to bulk up the volume and make more money. But the problem is it waters down all the good stuff, the nutrition. So how do you catch it? You're going to love how simple this is.
Okay, so just grab something smooth and polished. A clean steel plate, the back of a big spoon, whatever works. Now tilt it a little bit and put just one single drop of milk right on it. And then you watch. The way that one little drop moves is going to tell you the whole story.
So here's what you're looking for. If the milk is pure, it's kind of thick, right? It'll either stay put or move really slowly, leaving this obvious white streak behind it. But if it's been watered down, whoosh, it'll just run straight down, super fast, and leave nothing behind. It's a dead giveaway. You can't miss it.
All right, case #1 is closed. Let's move on to the next one. And I gotta say, this one's a little weirder. We're talking about detergent. Yeah, soap. Why? Well, sometimes it's used to make synthetic milk look frothy and rich. It's pretty sneaky, but luckily, it's also really easy to catch. So for this one, all you need is a little bottle or a jar with a tight lid. Pour in a bit of your milk, say about 5 to 10 milliliters, and then add the same amount of water. Lid on and shake it. Shake it really well. Now look at what happens. Real pure milk? It might get a tiny thin layer of foam, but it disappears pretty fast. But if there's detergent in there, oh, you'll know. You'll get this thick, dense lather. Basically, it'll look just like you shook up a bottle of soap. It's a huge red flag. On to the next suspect, starch. We're talking about stuff like rice flour or even potato starch. Think about it. If someone has already watered down the milk, it's going to be thin. So they add starch to thicken it back up and fake that creamy, rich texture. But you guessed it, we have a test for that too. This one is going to make you feel like you're back in chemistry class, but I promise it's super easy. Just pour a little bit of the milk into a dish and add 2 or 3 drops of something called tincture of iodine. You can get it at any pharmacy. It's pretty common. And what happens next? Well, you don't have to wait long. The result is pretty much instant. And trust me, it's so obvious there's no mistaking it. There it is. If you see a blue color, bam, that's starch. It doesn't matter if it's a deep dark blue or just a faint hint of it. Any blue means starch has been added. Pure milk won't change color at all. Just a simple, cool little chemical reaction you can do right on your countertop. Okay, so we've covered the big 3. Now let's get into a couple of other things you might find. First is urea. That's sometimes used to trick protein tests and make the milk look whiter. And then there's something called synthetic milk, which, well, it's not even milk.
All right, so checking for urea is a 2-step thing. You mix your milk with a little bit of soybean powder, wait a few minutes, then dip a piece of red litmus paper in. If that paper turns blue, you found urea. And for synthetic milk, you don't even need a test kit, just your senses. It usually tastes bitter, it can feel kind of soapy, and if you heat it up, it turns yellow. Yikes.
So you are now a certified milk detective, but our work isn't over. These same kinds of tricks can be used in other dairy products. So let's expand our investigation, shall we? We're going to look at ghee, paneer, and curd next. Hey, remember our old friend the starch test? Well, it's making a comeback because, surprise, surprise, starch is also a super common filler in things like ghee, butter, paneer, you name it. It's all about adding cheap bulk. And the test is almost exactly the same. So if you're testing ghee or butter, it's easy. Just add the iodine drops right on. Now for something solid like paneer or koa, there's one tiny extra step. You got to boil a little piece in some water, let that water cool down completely, and then add the iodine. And you know what you're looking for, right? That classic blue color tells you starch is hiding in there. Okay, we've reached our final case file for today. We're looking for something called vanaspati. Basically, it's a hydrogenated vegetable oil that's way, way cheaper than real ghee. So it gets mixed into ghee and sometimes even sweet curd to fake that rich, fatty texture we all love. Okay, a quick but important safety warning here. These next tests use concentrated hydrochloric acid, so you need to be really careful. Please wear gloves and do this somewhere with good airflow, like near an open window. So for ghee, you'll mix a bit of melted ghee with the acid and a tiny pinch of sugar. For sweet curd, you just mix it with the acid. Then you wait. If you see a vibrant crimson red color start to appear, that's your proof. Wow, so now you're armed with all this knowledge, you're probably thinking, okay, I'm ready to do this. So what do you actually need for your official kitchen detective kit? Let's put together a quick shopping list. See, it's not a long list at all. You can grab tincture of iodine and litmus paper from any pharmacy. You've obviously got sugar. Soybean powder is easy to find in most grocery stores. The only thing you'll need to be extra careful with is the hydrochloric acid, which you might find at a hardware store. And again, just be super safe when you handle that one. We have covered a ton of ground. So let's boil it all down. If you walk away from this remembering just a few things, what should they be? Let's go over the biggest, easiest, most important takeaways. It really comes down to these 3 simple visual checks. First, the water test. You want to see that white trail. That's a good sign. Second, the detergent test. Shake it up. If you see a thick, soapy leather, that's a bad sign. And third, the starch test. If it turns blue when you add iodine, that's your answer right there. Just knowing these 3 things makes you a way smarter shopper. So now you have the tools. You're not just guessing anymore. You can actually check the purity of what you and your family are eating. And that kind of makes you think, doesn't it? If we can find all this out about our dairy, what secrets are hiding in the other foods in our kitchen?